Audio Jungle.
Really look at it. You really take time. You really look at it. Not where.
Oh God! Knock the camera off. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I was like, what you talking about?
He said, she bit my head off. He said, I won't say nothing like that no more. He said, them Kentucky basketball fans, he said, they're serious about their basketball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we are. You know it.
Work it up. You don't, and you got to use the big needle to file them spices, because if you use one too little, they ain't know you're going to be pushing like a mug on it. And it's going to pour it out. and splatter on your wall. So you gotta make sure you got the big needle. This can't spice it. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work.
Playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs.
Well, hey, with all the arm pumping I'm about to be doing tonight, you can probably line me up 30 plus lawnmowers. I'll start everything up.
Hey, you want my pick? This is my pick. Not here. Notre Dame, everybody. Notre Dame. Guys, God loves you. Go Big Blue. Good night, everybody.
Wow, wow!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Wildcat Den. We got a good one tonight, everybody. We have got Michael and Mark Lawson from Cats Chat has joined us tonight. We thank you guys very much for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks for having us. That was some pretty good. That's the best intro I think I've ever seen.
I really like those clips. That was great.
Listen, guys, we've got more. I try to change them up from week to week, try to keep it fresh, and we have a good time on here. I mean, Rusty said one time, you never know what you're going to get out of the Wildcat Den.
That's pretty much how our show goes as well.
Yeah.
I make up words all the time. He makes fun of me. You know, it's perfect. Just like you guys, it sounds like.
So, guys, Rusty, we going to start out by asking you all, and if you don't, because we don't know, what y'all think about Kentucky's athletics going into this LLC deal? Have y'all read anything about it? Rusty, you want to tell them?
I don't understand a whole lot about it. I seen something today about we was going to have to borrow a whole bunch of money or something, and just to keep things rolling. And it said something about the final vote to actually put it in place was today. But I mean, I guess it's basically going to be to fund our athletics.
I'll be 100% honest. I've not really read up on it, and the main reason is because it keeps constantly changing anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they're building the plane while flying it, you know? So
Right.
It's kind of like, I was like, I'll wait till it's completely finalized before I even try to dive into it. Because NIL's kind of been like the Wild West. Just whoever can offer the most money, man, that's where you go. And it's just, I said they're going to have to do something to get a cap, to do something to control it. I mean, I don't mind NIL. Some people hate it. Don't bother me at all. Like, I like that the athletes are being paid, but I said there's got to be some kind of cap on it.
I've said that. I've always said that. But it also said, I guess this is what Rusty was talking about, the board of trustees, the investments.
Jacob Tammy, I'm excited about.
Yeah.
That's
Rusty
what I was
mentioned
going to
that.
say.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It said a $15 million for maintenance at Kroger Field, and $13 million on elevators and suites. I mean, it just goes on down, is what I'm trying to say. $5 million to improve softball fields and everything. And we always think that that's pretty interesting, all that stuff. And I'm like, Mark, I don't mind the NIL, but there's got to be something there's got to be a cap or something on
I
this
agree.
thing.
Well, what I'm actually excited about is actually the board that they put together. Of course, now it's called, I think, Blue Champions LLC, basically.
Yeah,
so you can
right.
Athletic now change it over to that. But I was listening to a radio station that we don't want to talk about that has, 3 letters that, we hear all the time. He was talking about the people that were on there, and I enjoyed it, actually, because, they did mention Jacob Tammy, who is a football player, a tight end, of course, from Kentucky. But he's also into sports management finance management with sports. So it's kind of interesting that he actually, 1, represents Kentucky, and then 2, actually kind of already has a head started into this or foot in the door of what's going on with as far as finances with sports athletics. So I think it's a home run having him in it. And there's another person, I couldn't tell you names. I ain't going to lie about that other than Jacob Tammy.
That's because he played football for you guys.
Exactly. But one of the people that they mentioned was he spent time with Nike and I want to say Fanatics. And I think both of those really go with Kentucky anyways, of course, with the Nike and everything. And then Fanatics, I think it's really starting to take over the sports card world. And so those NIL deals that they can go with that too. So I thought at least those 2 people being on this committee, the third-party committee, whatever you want to call them, I think it's pretty smart of Kentucky to be ahead of it.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
That's one thing they've already been doing is bringing out a lot of college cards. I've been interested in seeing that. There's a lot of I've seen a bunch of Cooper Flag autographs already floating around, like on these different card places of people selling them. Like one guy hit the 101 the other day, and I'm just like, golly, he ain't even in the NBA yet.
I know.
Let it simmer a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, Rusty is, Rusty, we growed up here in Wallens, and y'all know where he's at now? He's in Big Ten country.
And I'm sorry, where?
Big Ten
country. He's up there. Oh. Well, Notre Dame country, but he's in Big Ten up there.
I got you. Well, we apologize. Anytime you want to come home, back.
Let's get the inside on the Big Ten. We talk about it. So he's up there, but we growed up here in Wallens, and he's up there. He's actually coming in. I think is it next month, or Rusty? You're coming in.
I'm driving in on July 4th.
And we're going to do a show together. Right
9 hours.
9 hours. Right here in the Wildcat Den.
Y'all want to come out to the big July 4th in downtown Harlan?
Oh yeah, that is right, Rusty.
I'm actually going to MC it this year. So.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I'm going to MC. It's just never gets.
Well, Rusty, you got anything for him there? I know you was going to ask him something.
Well, I know they just passed that settlement, that House settlement. Now they already trying to pass some kind of bill, but it's got to get through the House and the Senate. But I don't know what that's all about. But do you guys think now that the colleges are directly paying the players that they're going to want to unionize?
Personally,
I think eventually that's coming. How far away do you guys think that'll be before that happens?
I'm going to say 5 years, just for the fact that it's still new and trying to figure out everything within the 5 years. Let me say it that way, because there's even talks now that since they are paying, that they're going to the universities are going to try to make it a contract where, hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars, but you've got to sign a 2-year contract. And so you automatically are going to get these players for 2 years. But there's already been talk about that. Well, these players won't sign a 2-year contract. So if you already got universities wanting to do something so you can actually have some basically return on your investment, and players are going to say, well, I want to bet on myself, then obviously we're already looking at a union that's going to happen pretty quick as far as who's going to get what and who deserves what. So it's definitely new territory for everybody, and it's might as well just kick back and relax and see what's going to go on and think, man, if I would only been an athlete, I could have got paid some money.
I think once the unions comes, I think they'll be working in some ways they can start trading players.
Ooh.
It's pretty much what happens now. They don't necessarily trade them. You don't get anything in return. Somebody just says, okay, I'm going to go try another school.
Arkansas was going after Nico's little brother because when he left, they was trying something, but I don't think it's going to get any traction.
It's crazy.
It's all going to be crazy moving forward. Like, nobody really knows. That's why I say 5 years within it, because something's got to crash pretty quickly. I mean, if these athletes, and rightfully so, they deserve some money. I mean, let's be honest. If these universities making billions, if millions at whatever games, they deserve something.
Yeah, something.
But now, with the pass of everything going on, a lot of talk, Big Ten, like the St. John's, the Villanovas, the teams that don't have a football team, do they get to play with all that $20 million straight to baseball and basketball? Because if that's the case, they're going to be a powerhouse when it comes to those sports. So, I mean, what's really going to be going on from there? Even Mitch Barnhart was on the Tom Leach show this morning talking about, we don't know how we're going to deviate the money, but it's got to be deviated somehow, like 80%. And he didn't say this numbers, but like 80% football because that's the most revenue, 15 to basketball, or since it's Kentucky's basketball, do we go more to basketball and keep it at the high level that it is and just give a little to Kentucky? So that's just in Kentucky sports there. So, I mean, this is going to be all over every different university trying to figure out the best way to do this. So, yeah, I think first 2 years it's going to be scramble. Somebody's going to get the big edge on how you work this and dominate for a couple years, and then I think it's going to be boom. Some cap's got to happen.
Everybody follows suit, right? As soon as they figure it out.
One and dones. I mean, let's be honest. Calipari made the one and dones popular. Everyone was doing it. Even Coach K did the one and done. And then it was just like that. Boom! All of a sudden, one and dones were done. It was one and transfer, and everybody went with the more veteran lineups. Even Pope said, I don't even care about really recruiting high school players. There's 1 or 2 or 3 we might get, but the rest is going to be transfers. So it's one and done's over.
And I even said, I think that's what got Coach Cal in a little bit of hot water because he didn't adjust to the landscape of how college basketball is going. They were going after the more veteran players. And so, I mean, I don't care how good you are. If you have a veteran squad that's pretty good against a super athletic freshman team, the veterans are probably going to win just because they've been there.
Yeah,
and their bodies are more developed. They're stronger.
Yeah.
But you brought up Villanova and St. John's. I think that's the Big East, isn't it? And then,
I said whatever it is. What are the places that we don't
like? but that is interesting though, because I don't think that there is a set way of what sport how they have to divide it. But I did see where they're kind of mad because the girls ain't getting as much as the men's. Did you see that?
On that? I mean, it's always going to be like who deserves what you hear. I mean, that's like I didn't know this till my boss when I worked at Tractor Supply. He's from Tennessee, and he'd always would talk about University of Tennessee sports. I'm like, man, I'm going to listen to you, but I could care less because it's the orange. But he was talking about Vandy being down there. He said, they are always bad in football, which of course now they're better than Kentucky as of last year. But their scholarships, because they have an X amount of scholarships they can have, all go to baseball, and that's what they dominate in. So, Vandy's going to be another school that just says, you know what, we'll give some to football, we'll give some to basketball, but most will probably give to baseball. And the other teams are going to be mad. So someone's always going to take the short end of the stick on this. I mean, volleyball is probably, or softball even, some of these archery, riflery, do they get this money too? Esports is a thing now. So, like, how do you give all this to everybody?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking today when I read that. It was like, man.
Swim team. I mean,
and you speaking of Tennessee, they passed a bill in their state, and I guess there's a couple other states said that they can pay their NIL players wherever they want, no matter what comes out.
Really? Well, Tennessee's ahead of the game always because they were playing players before you're supposed to. I mean,
yeah, that's like they was paying Nico when he was in high school.
Yep. What's up, Zach?
Hey, Zach. Josh.
We appreciate
that.
Yeah, we was talking, and I kept looking over here, guys. We got a bunch of comments. Let's see. Zach again. Josh is a Tennessee fan. Getting him out of here. It looks like it's all Josh, and then Zach says, I know Josh says Zach, they know better than that.
Yeah, I made a mistake. Michael, you might want to move inside.
Yeah, I was curious to say I made a mistake coming out here, but the kids, it's early for us. We try to do our show at 9 p.m. so our kids are like at least tucked away. And I was like, guys, I'll go out here so y'all can shower, finish your supper and stuff. But it's a storming, so if you see me run in, I'll be right back.
What's up, Brandon? How you doing, buddy? Oh, Brandon.
It's gonna be about like a Cash Daniel interview. Michael just walking around his whole house.
Yeah, I'm not going to put a dip in, though.
I watched that, Mark. That was a good –
listen,
Rusty, did you see that? Listen, I think it was after Christmas, wasn't it? I think y'all had him on.
We've done it twice.
Yeah, we've had him on twice.
It was one in December. So I go with leftover Christmas ham, man. I said, "Oh, Cash Chats has got Cash on there." My favorite linebacker. I loved him when he played. And I had ham and pasta and everything. So I mean, I loved it.
He's a lot of. It's just like us sitting here talking. He's down to earth. He's funny.
Yeah.
Like wrestling fits him perfectly. Like what
it does. It does. It
that
really
personality.
does.
It just.
Yeah. Well, guys, we got football season coming up, and what are y'all thinking? I mean, honestly, what are y'all? I told Rusty, and this is just my opinion as a fan, and it seems like to me half the team left. And I know we got all these guys coming back in, and we know about the players that we do have that did come back, right? But I told Rusty, I said, I don't know, and I may just be so far out of, again, my opinion. I don't think we'll know what we really got until maybe that fourth or fifth game, maybe. Really see what we got,
Well, let's be honest. Every time that we've got a transfer portal quarterback, we've not known anything until halfway through the season.
True.
Levis was good the first year. Second year wasn't as good. Of course, injured, whatever. Then our quarterback from last season, can't remember his name. I'm sorry. We thought he was going to come in here from Georgia. Yes, and we thought he was going to do phenomenal. Well, obviously that didn't happen. So,
which wasn't totally on him now. Don't forget.
Right. He's a good guy. We don't want to tear down players. We understand, he has a heart, he has a soul. We care about him, but it just the line wasn't as good last year, so he had to run for his life to throw on the run. So everything just didn't work out last year.
It seemed like he was playing a lot injured too, wasn't it? Didn't we talk?
Yes, Brian Milam kind of broke with us. He said I wasn't supposed to share this, but he's actually taking fluid off of his knees every week, so he had some issues going on too. So, but I say all that.
He got hit hard against Tennessee.
Yes. I'm actually being brave, and I'm going to say we're going to be bowl eligible this year. I think we get 6 wins, and DraftKings say 4.5 is the over under if you want to. So they think we may not even get 4 wins, but I'm going to say we get 6 wins because we got some younger guys coming in that look to be ready to lead, and I think Stoops going to come in with a fire under his tail, ready to motivate, and these freshmen coming in with their leaderships of wanting to do good.
Right.
I think it's going to surprise us.
Yeah. And
sorry,
Mark. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I think the fact that, the big dog just left, I think it's going to be a little extra motivation for these boys.
I was thinking about that today. I said, I just wonder about the team and what their mindset. And then, Mark, you got through saying that. I said, this might light a fire. Hey, he's gone. Let's do this, guys, But I was thinking about our line, too, because Rusty went over our line, and we was reading. Our line, obviously we've not seen them play yet. But if you just go by paper, hear what people has when they went to the spring game and stuff, the people that I've talked to, our offensive line should be better. And they're big. They're tall, And well,
let's be honest, it couldn't be much worse.
Exactly, Mark. Exactly. It could be, yeah. And but again, that's all. That's with any teams. Your line. That's what your lines. You got to have a line. You got to.
And I want people to understand. I'm not digging at those young men playing on the line. What I'm saying, I don't know. It just takes one person missing an assignment every time, and it messes the whole play up.
You're right. You're exactly right, buddy. You're exactly right. You
got to be cohesive.
Well, it's always seemed like somebody in our offensive line has gotten hurt preseason or during the summer league summer games that has them out all year. Jagger, who's a wonderful kid, head on his shoulders, real good. He was playing, I think, guard for a little bit of last year before the season started, and then I had to be moved to center. So going from left foot heavy to do your whole routine that way to now being balanced and trying to back up while snapping a ball, that's hard to learn at any point, let alone during games, basically. So I've seen him. I don't know if you guys know Vinny Hardy or not, but he's actually he's from Harlan County as well. He had him on Cats Wednesday, I think, Wildcat Wednesday. And he was just talking about how much more poised he is, that he's a senior now and able to do different things, and talked about his balance that has come around. So I really think we're going to be okay. I mean, it's still Kentucky football no matter what. We've been bowl eligible for so long. I think we mustered a couple wins. And I'm really excited about the South Carolina game. The way that they smacked us in the mouth at our home field last year was pathetic. Let's just be honest. I think this year we don't get surprised and we try to punch back.
Yeah. I listen, guys. Times I get aggravated, but I've sat through the good times, and I know you all have too. The bad. I've sat through. I'm going to tell you how old I am, but I've sat through the Bill Curry days. I know you all have, Joker, and I'm not knocking these guys. I'm just and I mean, I've seen it. You know, I love my Wildcats. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I love
be
Kentucky
a Wildcat
football
fan until I die. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Until I die.
Rusty, I think I interrupted you, buddy, and I'm going to talk a little bit too.
You did. I don't.
But guys, I saw too where they've replaced Morrow as tight ends coach, Derek Shea. What was he, Rusty? You was telling me. I read it.
I think he was like some kind of offensive analyst or something.
Yeah.
Well, they've already replaced him. Wow.
Well, just a tight ends coach.
Just a tight ends coach.
Not the assistant coach and super recruiter and all that. But
yeah, the recruiting part is going to be the part that I think will hurt us the most. But I mean, we're already at a disadvantage football wise. Michael, you're going to be moving in. That thunder just keeps coming. I live right below him. But
we'll see a skeleton down there in a minute.
His beard.
I get electrocuted. The wife just texted, "You better come in."
But I think we're always going to struggle a little bit with the recruits just because we're in the SEC, because it's Kentucky football, not Kentucky basketball. And I'm not, like I said, it's not a dig. It's just we've always been known more for basketball. But you know, when everybody was ready to fire Stoops last year, I'm like, but look, he's got to turn. Like, he's turned the program around where, like, I actually feel like we're in games. It's not like I'm just going, yeah, we're going to lose today. That's not
we
how
don't go to the games just to be tailgating. We go because we want to cheer and actually win.
Exactly. And years ago, when I was younger, that's what I said. No, we ain't got a chance.
Right.
But now, like Mark said, at least these past several years, hey, we got a chance. That's just how that's just how it felt. And speaking of okay, go ahead, Rusty.
I'd kind of been feeling like that until last year. And then after we beat Ole Miss, I was like, well, and then it's like, so I don't know. And you guys was way more positive on Morrow leaving than I was, because I felt like it's kind of like the players last year at the hot dog stand. Now is his coaches like that too now? Because I think he was letting Eddie Grand in Morrow's business. I think that's what.
And it very well, that may be what happened. I'm not really. He must have had to go because it's about to start raining.
Yeah.
But I don't know the whole story. It really surprised me just because Morrow and Stoops were good friends. You know, we interviewed Vince like one of our first shows that we ever did. He called in and just did his voice, but we talked about stuff, and he talked about growing up in Ohio and like how his family was close with Stoops' family. So that part did shock me. But I look at it on a business side too. If Louisville's going to offer him a position that is better than what he's currently doing, you can't fault a man for wanting to move up. Well, and I don't. But, yeah, it stings because we're loyal Big Blue fans. But this is his job. This is his livelihood. I understand even though I don't like it.
Right. I'm like you. I understand even though I don't like it.
Yeah.
I understand.
I mean, I'm not mad at him. But
yeah.
No.
I get where you're saying it's going to hurt us a lot worse, and I agree. I think it's going to hurt.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, if the coaches are kind of like, if it's like a circus, kind of like our players was last year. You know,
I think by the end of the year last year, it kind of was, like you said, the players showing up at the concession stand. That just wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look at all.
No, it was.
And I really believe, some of the players that transferred out, I will say, were really, really, really good football players. But I also, just through rumor, I heard some of the ones that transferred out could have been part of the problem with the locker room.
Addition, not subtraction.
don't know if that's true, but I've heard that. And
I've heard
team chemistry's huge. Like if you don't trust your brothers out on the field, you're not going to go to war with them.
Right.
So I'm hoping they've righted the ship. They've got things turned around. I do like some of the recruits that he brought in. I like some of the transfers we got. We got the wide receiver from Clemson,
Alabama, Kendrick Law from JJ Hester from Oklahoma, wide receiver. Got him.
I think so.
Kendrick Law from Alabama, yeah. And then Jamari, I know Mark. We all went up to go see him. Got him coming back. So,
did you give him a business card?
Yes.
That's funny because, I went in to see him and I had to get back to the stage and I was like, yeah, I want to get you on my podcast sometime. And then they said when you handed him the business card, he was like, yeah, I've already talked to you about it.
I looked at him. I said, no. And the woman, I gave her one. She said, what's the name of the show? I said, The Wildcat. And she said, I think I heard of it. I said, well, here. I said, check us out. I said, we're on Facebook Live. I said, we're on YouTube. Instagram. I said we're on 3 different things. But he kind of laughed at me there. He kind of laughed at me, Mark. He said, "Oh yeah."
Well, one thing I want to say about Morrow, if y'all don't care if we back up just a little bit, because I was listening, but I was moving.
We've already moved on. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, one thing that I've rumors, let me say it that way, is that Morrow is more of a. Am I froze?
No, you good.
No, you're good.
Can you hear me? Okay. Looks like it's okay. Is that Morrow is more of the recruiter and going for those high school kids and really trying to get the 4 stars, 5 stars, whatever we can get. But Stoops has been kind of switching to this transfer portal stuff. And so the Morrow needed so much has kind of backed off, and there's clash of possibly theology of how they want to run a football team. So if that's really the case, that makes some sense because Morrow is get the freshmen, get them in and develop. Stoops is going to this transfer portal and try to reload. So I get the part that way.
Yes.
He was a general manager. He was kind of our general manager before general managers was becoming a big thing. Now general managers are becoming a big thing.
Yep.
And then I guess if he would have took an on-field position, he would have had to pay a pretty hefty buyout to Kentucky. So that's
those are the things I don't get into is those whole buyouts. That's way more money. Too many zeros for me. So I'm just like, hey, they got to do something.
But general managers, these teams, they're a big thing now. I mean,
really?
Yeah, like Texas Tech's got that James Blanchard. USC wanted him. Notre Dame wanted him. Somehow they kept him. Texas Tech's pumping money in there. And then USC stole
oh my goodness,
Notre Dame's general manager, and he was assistant athletic director and all kinds of stuff. And somehow they stole him away. And then, Andrew Luck, he's Stanford's general manager, and he even fired the coach back in the early spring. He didn't like the way I guess he was yelling at the players all the time and stuff, and he didn't like how he was addressing the players. But I mean, I guess it depends on what powers they give him. But and he got some ex-NFL coach in there, I think, like as an intern.
Right.
Riverboat Ron's general manager now for Cal. So it's becoming a big thing.
Huh.
It used to be like a made-up position.
Right.
Well, tell them, Rusty, about you going up there to the games up there with your Kentucky stuff on, and they go by and they go Big Blue.
Oh, yeah, they give me Go Big Blues. I seen Tennessee people. Well, when we was playing South Carolina last year, I can't remember who Notre Dame was playing, but I had my Kentucky stuff on. All them South Carolina people was coming up to me. It might have been the same day we played Ole Miss or something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember there was a bunch of South Carolina people there one time. And
what shocked me was I told him, I said, "Well, you got your Kentucky stuff on." I said, "I guess that went over." Well, he said, "No." He said, "Actually, they was going by me and go Big Blue, go Big Blue." I said, "Hey, what about that?"
Kentucky is all over. Let's just be honest. We're state, but there's fans everywhere.
Right. I've only missed
about Wichita.
I've only missed about 3 of their home games in the last 3 years.
Oh, wow.
But when I first came up here, we used to tailgate all the time. I hate tailgate up here. I'm too old for that now. I mean, I guess I'm not, but back then we would get with it.
I understand.
Guys I saw were Maxwell Hairston and Deion Walker officially both signed with Buffalo Bills. And then we got Ray Davis. I was going to tell Rusty, I said, I think I'm about to become a Buffalo Bills fan now with all these Kentucky players.
Big Blue Mafia. Big Blue Mafia.
The Bengals drafted that guy out of Texas Tech, or Texas A&M. What's his name? Yeah, he's holding out on him.
Yep.
Wow. What's the deal? Rook, how can if I was the franchise, that wouldn't go over too well.
No.
That would be that'd be definitely a sour taste in your mouth to think that you drafted this guy and he's holding out on it. Like, I mean, come on. We picked you to come play for us. Now you're going to say you're not going to sign? Like,
I was like Elway, he was going to play for the Yankees because he wasn't going to play for the Colts.
Really? I didn't know that one.
And then the old man, Irsay, it was the Baltimore coach then. And that general manager had it all mapped out. He wasn't going to trade him in the division. And he was going to, he had all his quality. He was going to get a good trade out of him or he wasn't going to trade him.
Uh-huh.
Well, the old man Irsay owned the team, got on a plane in the middle of the night and went to Denver and traded him for a garbage quarterback and a garbage offensive lineman. That's how he got to Denver.
That's crazy.
Well, one that amazes me about baseball is Randy Savage, Macho Man. He actually was drafted by the Reds.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. But
he actually had
Yankees had John Elway drafted too.
That's crazy.
Didn't Lex Luger play for the Bengals? Lex Luger.
If that's
seemed
true,
like I had seen that. Seemed like I had seen something.
Okay.
About him. Rusty, you should know. You're a Bengals fan.
Yeah, I know. They probably could have used him.
Come on,
of course,
buddy.
Tom Brady, he was drafted as a catcher as well. There's a baseball card of his rookie year in the AAA in baseball.
Well, guys, I'm going to slide over to, if you don't mind, I'm going to slide over to just a little bit to Kentucky basketball. I was looking
Absolutely.
At the what do you all think? I love it. I love it. I told Rusty, I said, man, we got to play. Hey, they're stacked, man. And you don't want to see nobody get hurt. I think you all know what I'm trying to say. But let's say if we did get a couple, we can fill those spots better this year than we did last year. Not taking nothing away from what they did last year. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like Mark got through saying, we're deep, right?
Yep. I mean, I agree. I love the fact that they filled the roster with players that he feels are going to fit his offensive scheme. I think these are players that like his offensive scheme and they know that they're going to be a big part of it. And what I like about it, he's got players, I don't want to say like, you remember when Cal would have the rotating starting the 5 men? But he can kind of do that. You know what I mean? Like the depth of this team, he's able to do it. And I think that gives you a plus because you have fresh legs out there all the time. You can constantly run the floor. And if you've got 10 to 12 players that are playing quite a bit, they really bond. They get together. It forms a brotherhood.
Yeah.
What I really like about this team is it's already shown that they're so far advanced in last year's team as far as even knowing what's going on. And that's no shot at last year's team. Yeah, last year's team was great. Like you said earlier, we just had some injuries that really hurt us. But like, Jasper Johnson, who committed probably, almost 8 months ago, he's already saying that Pope's saying, I need to do what? Oh, I was saying that I need to work more on my jump shot, or I need to be working on the 3-point shot a lot. He's already involved with his players that are committed and like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing next year. This is what you need to work on. We already see Garrison and, of course, Noah in the gym basically working on their game to improve as well. So it's great to see that this team is already pretty much dedicated for this upcoming season to say, hey, last one's over. This is year 2, and let's go with it. And like you said, anyone really can play anywhere with this team. Oway coming back. He can play 2, 3, even 4 if you want to go small. I mean, he could even run point, honestly, because the way basketball is these days is just crazy. But Chandler, who last year was a 2 guard coming in, learned how to play backup point guard on the fly. So he's able to say, hey, coach, which one do you want me to play? I'm ready on both of those now. So, yeah, man, I mean, we're 14 deep that stays at least competitive still. So, who knows what goes on with this team?
Yeah. And back to football just for a minute. I've been seeing people talk about their tickets and stuff. I've talked to a few. Hey, send them to Wildlands.
Yeah,
just send them to Wildlands. I'll get a bus and I'll take us all up to Lexington to go see.
I'll borrow. I can get the keys to our church, man. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, I saw you post, Mike. I said that's great. I said that was exactly what I was thinking too.
Absolutely.
Down here, I'll take it.
If you got so much money that you can complain about your tickets to a football game, you don't care about losing them. Just send them on down my way, man.
Yeah, we used to go. I told Rusty, me and Brandon, we used to go all the time. I think I even went to a bowl game. We went to Nashville to see them play Florida State. Bobby Bowden, really? I think that was his last year too. I think that was in 07. That was when we had Woodson and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, good team. Oh man, that was a good team. Good team.
That's something that not been able to do too much. Of course, Harlan, we're 3 hours away. It's hard to just basically go.
Yeah, I think the last one I went to was in 2014,
really?
I think. Yeah, that was the last one they played Vanderbilt.
I would like for them in it. Maybe, I don't know if they could do it in football, but, in basketball, they have the exhibition games. I would like for them to come out to, like, Pikeville, University of Pikeville, and play a game for Eastern Kentucky. Go out to Paducah, somewhere out there, and play for the western part of Kentucky, because not everyone can make it to Lexington for these games.
That's right.
And let's be honest, us Mountain fans are probably some of the most crazier fans that they've ever been around. So if we could actually get down low in the arena to where we could cheer at a game, like at the arena that Pikeville has, I can't think of it now, it would be a pretty good atmosphere. So I would love for them for exhibition, I always say it wrong, games to maybe travel a little bit so some other fans can see them.
And I think your Mountain fans are buying in even more right now, with Trent on the team. Like, I think that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Mickey, I will. If they send them, Mickey, I will get your ticket.
There we go.
Pete says he must have been talking when we was talking about basketball. This team is scary. Yeah.
Well, do you guys think some of this ticket sales do you think some of that pony up still sticking in people's craw? And then the fact that his SEC record's 36-62.
Whew. Okay, let's be honest. What he said about ponying up is technically true. If we really want it to happen, we need to start helping out NIL. I just think the way it went about, the timing of saying it after a big loss like that, just did not sit well with everyone in Kentucky. But let's be honest. If we want to be up there with the Bama, you got to spend $2, $3, $4 million on a quarterback plus those wide receivers. We ain't doing it. So what he said is true. I just think it was executed horribly.
That's what I always thought.
I mean,
I think last year's team, though, that team should have did way more than what we did.
100%.
But I think it also goes to show you how important an offensive line is.
Yeah, well, it does.
Yeah, there were so many games that we were in and we could have won. Just one play go a different way. And yes, last year's, it would just been a completely different feeling about the year.
But he had his 49ers offensive line coach he was going into his third year, just getting his system implemented. Then he brought that Youngstown dude back, come crawling back from Alabama.
Yep.
And that dude was garbage at Alabama. He had the biggest offensive line in the SEC, and they gave up more sacks than anybody in the SEC that year.
Well, they did.
So now that being said, I ain't going to say Forrest Stoops, but if he had to leave, who would you guys go replace him with if you was tasked with that?
Hands down, Mark Pope. Just give him who cares? He'll run through walls. I'm happy with it. That's the thing with Kentucky, and I've had this discussion with so many people, fire Stoops. And I always tell them, okay, who are you going to replace him with? Are you going to go out and get Saban to come to Kentucky? No. Are you going to go out and get a versatile coach, veteran coach to come to Kentucky? If you do, you're paying maximum dollars for them to come to Kentucky because we are so center between, Ohio State's recruiters, Michigan recruiters, Florida, Alabama, Georgia recruiters. Like, it's hard for that magic to happen. So you got to take a shot on who's the Coastal Carolina coach that was doing good there for a while? Like this upcoming May.
He's at Liberty now, Jamie Chadwell.
Yeah. You got to take a shot at that and hope you hit. And that's what's scary to me. yeah, Coastal Carolina is a different ball, as far as the conference and everything. This is SEC. Not saying he can't do it, but are we willing to say, well, Stoops, you're declining. We're going to take this guy and maybe win 2 or 3 games for 3 years and then have to fire, or maybe he's the savior for football and we win 6 or 7 or 8.
I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd go to Cleveland and get touchdown Tommy Reese. He can develop a quarterback, and he can recruit really well, and he can make in-game adjustments probably as good or better than anybody I've ever seen. And he knows football. He's got a very high football IQ, and he will come back to college, and somebody's going to get a diamond in the rough.
That'd be good.
And because look at Buckner up here at Notre Dame, he looked really good. Then he went to Alabama, looked like garbage. Jalen Milroe, they didn't know if Ty Simpson or Milroe was going to start that year he was there. Well, when Tommy Reese was OC there, he looked like a superstar. Then he left. Then last year, Milroe kind of looked like garbage.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a very good college coach.
How much do you think he would have to be paid, though?
Well, we're going to have to, like you said, they're going to have to,
we got to
actually contend. They're going to have to spend. And that's another thing that's kind of scary. I heard with that revenue sharing, most schools is going to put more into their football, but they're saying we're going to put more into our basketball. So if they do that, we'll never be relevant.
Exactly.
It'll be like, we just watch it for fun, and we can't really be serious about contending.
Yep. We go to those games to watch, like, the Bama players. Like, they'll be in the NFL one day. Like, or Georgia coming into Kentucky. Let's go to that game so we can watch them play. Hopefully we'll get there. But let's move on.
I just heard the Youngstown group's got to get busted up.
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie Grand, did he ever even leave? He comes slithering back. I don't even know if he ever even made it out of Lexington. He got some kind of job getting coffee. We used to make fun, say he's just getting coffee. Now I think he's sliding into the big dog spot.
Yeah, that would be scary. Excuse me.
Well, guys, Mark does. Let's say Rusty. He does a lot of the Black Bear games. I
was kind of side reading an article that Kyle Jones just sent me actually about Reggie.
Yeah, and I've listened to Mark. Well, ever since he's been doing it. But Mark, I have got something I want to tell you.
All right.
Please don't say he's good. Come on, man.
I asked you to get your opinion on it. My niece plays for the Lady Black Bears, and you know her. Whitney, no.
Yep.
Whitney.
I aggravate her every time I see her.
Well, I'm excited about to watch this team because if I'm not mistaken, they have everybody back, don't they?
Yeah. I don't think we had a senior last year at all.
We didn't. There are only 2 seniors this year. That would be Whitney and Lacey.
Yeah.
And I
was glad Whitney came back because she stayed off a year, didn't she?
Whitney.
She took 1 year off of basketball, didn't she?
No. Whitney played.
Did she? I thought she didn't play her sophomore year.
No, she played. She was on the JV.
Gotcha.
I think that's when. No, wait, Mark. No, wait. No, freshman. She was on the JV.
She played freshman.
Sophomore. She just didn't play a lot her sophomore year playing on JV. But yeah, I'm very excited. Now she had a foot injury this year, and it was sometime after the Mountain Classic, the Smoky Mountain Classic, come back, and I think it was the Harlan Independent game. Sometime after that, and she struggled with that foot injury from late January into the regionals.
Yeah.
And she got cleared sometime this spring. And they're in summer ball right now. I've not got to watch them. I think they've got a couple games coming up and everything. And I'm going to try to go watch. If not, I'm going to wait until the season. But
I think they've got a chance to scare some people, man.
I do too.
They're young.
Yes.
The core of the team is a really young team. Josh and I talked about it last year. I said, man, getting all these kids back, getting another year under Coach Greer and learning the system that he's wanting to do, I think they could be really dangerous.
Yes. I do too. Because you could see last year, at times, you know, they was getting better,
Yep.
better. Then they might have 1 or 2 games here and there, but the talent's there. I mean, you can see it, you know.
Yep.
But I just want to know what you thought. And,
I think they're going to have a good season. Josh and I'll be honest with you, man. When we call radio, we didn't know what to expect last year for the girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a new coach. We knew they were going to be young, and we got to talking as the year went on. Like, we thoroughly enjoyed calling their basketball games because we saw improvement from game to game to game. Like, and you got to take those lumps when you're young. You're going to take them. You're going to, you're going to have some teams run you out of the gym. It's just part of life. Yeah. But seeing the fight and the hustle and seeing some of these girls in the gym constantly just getting up shots, I love it, man. I think they've got a chance to be something special.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to catch everyone I can because it's I like to watch them, and of course, you know, Whitney's last year. You know, she's played ball ever since she was in the 4th grade. So, shout out to my niece Whitney. I love you.
She's probably shaking her head at me right now because every time I see her, I go, no. Like
she's probably looking at me when I said that, I love you. She's probably going, oh, no, Brent.
Yeah, she just gives me that look and goes.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to let you all go. I know we're going to let you go. It's a Friday night. Is it storming, guys?
It's pouring rain where I was just at. So,
guys, we want to thank you all for coming on with us. I thought when we started, what's that?
Can I ask them a couple questions first?
Oh yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean that. I just thought, you know,
Brent's been hogging this show, ain't he?
Well,
that's like.
I've seen you guys ask a couple.
I forgot. Yeah, do it.
So, I was going to ask you guys some questions.
All right, here we go. I like
it. You know how like you all do on y'all show.
Now you guys are our biggest guests we've ever had. Now we know you guys had Cash Daniels.
Yeah, they
had. I see you had Clara Stark.
Yep.
I ain't good with the names.
Strack. You're right, Clara.
Anyways, so have you guys ever had anybody on your show that had you so starstruck you forgot to even ask them the most important question you wanted to ask?
Tony Delt. Tony Delt.
I wear 00 because of Tony Delt. I used to play with a big sweatband on, and I don't even remember how I ended up with his cell phone number, but I have his number, and I text him just acting like I knew him. And I was like, hey, Tony, you want to come on the show sometime? Ignored. Of course, ignored. So I called him like years later, a couple years later, and we were actually trying to put on the Kentucky watch party that, Kentucky, Tennessee last year. And I was like, left him a voicemail. Of course, he didn't answer. I was like, you can maybe come up and sign. We'll try to see if we can get you there and whatever. So I guess, the conversation, maybe some more money to do autographs. He called me. He's like, hey, is this Michael? I'm like, who in the world is this? He goes, this is Tony Delt. Because like, oh my goodness. So it fell through for him to come up there. But after having that conversation, he's like, yeah, I'll come on the show. As soon as he popped up on the screen, I was like, Mark, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to say a thing because like I'm keeping it out inside because that's he's one of the players I fell in love with.
It's
Kentucky basketball.
Neat getting to do it from that aspect though, because like Michael has never had shame. He'll ask anybody. He doesn't care. Absolutely. If he gets your number, he's going to contact you one way or another.
I got Jeff Shepard's number. I again did that too. Cameron Mills, I have his number. So all these guys I grew up like almost putting on a pedestal of Kentucky basketball.
Well,
I have those numbers now, and I'm like, Cameron Mills would text me every now and then and just say something. I'm like, I should have to show people Cameron Mills. Tony Delt sent me.
I text him ever so often. Hey man, just checking in. You doing all right? He's such a good guy, man.
That's cool. That's cool.
But Tony Delt, because it's in my phone. It's Tony Delt number 00. So it texts me. I'm like, oh, I got to screenshot that every time. Just be like, that's me. So we geek out all the time. We just kind of keep our composure when the camera's on.
A couple more real easy ones, real quick. Yeah. We're all Appalachian Americans here. Is it Meemaw or Mamaw?
Oh, it's Mamaw.
Mamaw. That's
really.
what I say.
Mamaw.
Well, there's a politician running, and he kept saying Meemaw. I tell people over here. I said, we don't say Meemaw, it's Mamaw.
Meemaw.
Yeah.
That's what Sheldon called his granny from Texas. It's Mamaw.
Yeah, it's Mamaw.
We had Mamaw and Granny. That was theirs.
All right, 2 more.
Okay.
Big game. Big Kentucky game. Maybe we'll say you guys talking about the South Carolina game. You're firing up your smoker. You going chicken thighs or spare ribs?
I'd rather have ribs any day of the week. I'll eat chicken, but I'd rather have ribs.
I apologize, but I have actually never had ribs.
What? Michael.
Are you serious?
Michael.
I don't have to call Mr. Lawson. What y'all's doing?
I am 100%. I've always been a picky eater growing up, so like barbecue and all that stuff, I never was in. And now that I eat all kinds of things, as you can tell, I'm like, man, I don't want to buy barbecue because that's expensive, and I don't like it. I don't want to waste my money.
I'm
So give me that
in a
chicken.
totally different light now, Michael. Like all the times they've had to swap them meat, and Benny and them were set up there selling those ribs, and you never tried them because they are fabulous.
Go out and get you a Masterbuilt Gravity Series
Go
900 and just start practicing.
I'll be honest with you. During swap meet, I would go stand by the Massey's and just smell it because it smelled great. I'm like, man, that smells wonderful. But people are saying $15 bags and all this. I'm like, for food that I might not like, I can't do that, man.
Hey,
I didn't expect that answer at all.
Joey Hubbs. I don't know if Joey Hubbs up there going toward Kaywood, man. He makes some good ribs too.
Last question.
Right there at Wallens, you are, or a Code Iron, I've got somebody on the side of the road there that does something.
On down that way.
Tony Durham.
Okay,
I don't know
pretty
what
good.
I forget the name of the place. I haven't had it. When I was in last time, I went up there and tried to get it, but they didn't have anything ready yet. Last question. Ketchup and mustard. After it's open, does it belong in a refrigerator or not?
Oh, God.
I'll tell you this. Mustard doesn't even get open for me, and it goes straight to the trash. That is nasty. But yes, ketchup is in the fridge.
You're like my son. He's real picky.
I'll be honest. I love ketchup. I would eat ketchup on my ketchup.
He's had ketchup on a fudge around once, if y'all know what that is. So
listen,
it was a dinner.
You can't go back and talk about stuff I did when I was 5, or I'll start telling stories too.
Come on, you were 6 when I was born, so you were older than that, if I remember it. So let's be honest, you were probably 10 or 12.
Still, that's history.
Okay.
But I don't really care. Like I put mine in the fridge just because
that's me.
They've got the little holder there for them, so that's where it goes.
Yeah. Or sometimes
syrup, maple syrup. I put it in the fridge.
I just put it back in the pantry.
See,
the reason why he asked you that question was him and my dad years ago when we was younger. Rusty was down at the house, and Dad had ketchup and mustard sitting out where he had fixed the hamburger. But he just said, "Well, Rusty, I heard I was in the back part of the house, and they was in the den, and I heard Rusty said, Doug, you've got to put this stuff back in the refrigerator." And he said, "I don't want it." He told Rusty, he said, "I don't want it in there. Just sit right there. I'm going to use it later." He said, "No." Rusty puts it up. Dad gets it out. 15, 20 minutes comes by. Dad's getting it out. Rusty's putting it up. He said, "Don't touch that. That ain't going to hurt a thing. It ain't going to hurt a thing." He said, "They stock it in the stores and it stays out on shelves forever for Lord knows how long."
I
So
mean,
that's
it's
why
kind
I
of
asked
true.
y'all. Yeah.
but it's sealed. But it's sealed when it's
Yeah,
out
but
there.
I don't
sealed.
think ketchup and mustard would really go bad even if you left it out. Now mayonnaise, that's a different story.
Mayonnaise a whole different. That's a whole different.
I think I like it. I think I like it cold better than warm.
It is good cold.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, it's good cold.
But that's a funny story. That's why I ask it. It's because me and his dad was arguing about it one night.
Yeah. Well, listen, just about 3 years ago, I realized that mustard is actually white. They actually put the yellow food dye in it just to make it yellow. Like, what?
I didn't know that, but I'd like to get some of that yellow barbecue sauce from the Carolinas. I know that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, Mark that comes on the show, you know, Mark Sanders, or it's a Carolina buddy.
Yeah, I need to have him send me some, don't I? I ate some seasoning I need from down there, too. I'm going to have to get with him.
That sounds good.
What you gonna say? Something you gonna ask us something? Too. You told me about their dad talked to you, didn't they?
Oh yeah, y'all's dad was. I think it's y'all's dad was my shop teacher in welding.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he did welding for a while. I mean, he did a little bit of everything there. He did machine shop repair. He did
electricity, coal mine.
Well, I'm gonna ask y'all one more question since we brought that up, and I'm see if y'all are in the same boat I am. Has he ever offered y'all good advice that you didn't take?
I'm
mean,
sure
that's
when I was younger, but I've always tried to listen to him.
I had him my senior year up there. I was at Kaywood.
Uh-huh.
Last 3 hours I was over there. And I swear he said, you need to come back. He said, another year and a half, I'll have you certified. I'll have you, you'll be ready to go. He said, I was either the only one or there's only two of us that was taking the blueprints and stuff. And he said, I'll help you figure out how to do it and everything. Because, you got to get grants and stuff like that. And I said, no, I had me a job up at the city of Harlan. And back then, they didn't have all the equipment and stuff they got now. And I was like, $4.25 an hour. I didn't take his advice. I went to work instead. And I remember up there on Ivy Hill with pickaxe, busting rocks, trying to dig a ditch by hand, thinking I should listen to Mr. Dawson.
He always talked to me. He said, hey, won't you just take my welding class? Because I want to retire at some time. And if you want, I could probably help you get that job. I said, Dad, I love you, and I know you love welding, but I don't want nothing to do with it. It's too hot. Forget that.
Then me and another fella, his name Big Roy, me and him, well, they'd have us oxy fuel welding.
Uh-huh.
And if you dip that torch too close to that puddle, it would pop them. When the new people get there, we'd what we call initiate them. We'd get them in the middle of us, and we would burn them up, popping that. And there's this one fella, he was getting real animated. Big Roy was laughing. I mean, he was horse laughing. If you knew him, and then that got me going. I was really burning this dude up, and he jumped up, and his beard was about on fire, and he was smacking, and he was getting ready to go tell Mr. Lawson on us. Roy's like, hey, we just initiate you. It's okay. We won't bother you no more.
Goodness. Now, Rusty, I got a question for you. Since you had welding and everything, how much money did you put in the cuss jar?
Yeah, I remember the cuss jar. I think I did have to put some money in there.
He would talk to us all the time about that. Said, boys, man, these guys, they got a filthy mouth.
He did have a cuss. I remember that. I forgot all about that.
And I always cracked up because he had a price on them, apparently. I guess, quarter cuss words to 10-cent cuss words. He'd always, I'm sure you guys knew this, but he always would tell me all the time, so these guys that cuss so much, put money in that jar, they don't realize it. At the end of the year, when we have our pizza party, it's their cuss money that I'm buying it with. So if you had him, if the more you cuss, the more pizza you got.
I bought a John boat, and I didn't know it, but it's full of Bondo. And I busted the Bondo out of it going down the Cumberland River, and he let me bring it in there, and he had Eddie Sparks welded up, TIG welder. He's only about two people could. I guess the TIG welders was a lot harder to use back then than they are now, but there's only about two of them could run it. But they fixed it up. It didn't leak.
We were blessed with good parents. I can say
yeah,
that.
Yeah. I don't know your mom, but your dad's definitely good.
Yeah.
Well,
look at us. No wonder he's good. Look how great we are.
Yeah.
So humble. Yeah.
I always tell everybody.
I have to check on you though. You ain't never eating no ribs.
I know.
Yeah, that's un-American.
Yeah.
I can't hear a thing. Oh, there it is. Well, guys,
this whole time Brent's not heard a word. He's just been, oh yeah.
We've had shows like that, or I was like that. I was having technical difficulties. Sometimes them drive me crazy.
Yeah, man.
We're learning all this stuff as we go. It's taking us this long to
us too. I think our first episode we tried to do, we were an hour late because we couldn't even connect to the internet for some reason.
Yeah, we tell everybody 7:30. I think this is the earliest we've ever been. It's usually 7:45 or 8 o'clock.
My biggest problem wound up being a brand new computer I just spent about $500 on. Well, I started out with a little HP Stream. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a little kid's computer. Just see if I like doing the podcasting. And it did all right for a long time on Wi-Fi and everything. Then I thought I was going to upgrade, and I bought this big, they tell you it's $800 computer for $450 or $500.
Right.
And then every time we tried to do a show, I had all kinds of problems, didn't I, Brent?
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Guys.
I mean, I can tell you the same thing with DJ, and I've had it happen with speakers. The cheap speakers work better than the expensive speakers sometimes.
Mark has had to grab different kids' computers while he's doing a show with us, or even I think you did one on the iPad because your computer wasn't loaded.
Well, but I got 3 kids and a wife that are all connecting to Wi-Fi, watching their Netflix and watching the YouTube, and Hunter in there gaming. You never know if my Wi-Fi is going to work.
Your son, you got a Hunter too?
Yep.
I got my son's Hunter, and the one I used, he had it took apart, and I had to put it all back together and everything. He likes to take stuff apart.
That's cool.
And not put it back together.
Well, sometimes he does, sometimes he don't. But he's into mowing grass now, so he tries to work on lawn equipment.
Tell him come on down if he likes to weed eat. I got a ton of hill he can weed eat.
I'm just getting started.
We done one show where Rusty, I couldn't see Rusty, he could see me or something, and we did that for the last 35 minutes. Then there was another show where we would switch sides, and you don't think people pay attention to that, but they do. And we had several comments that Brent's on the wrong side, Rusty's on the wrong side. And then one time I had a blue Kentucky hat on, and it throwed them off. I had someone say, well, Brent's got his blue Kentucky. Where's his white one at?
Hey, you never know what we're going to be wearing. A lot of times it's whatever I wore to school that day.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we're going to let y'all go, and we're going to get off here. It's been a great show. I really appreciate you all.
Thanks for having us.
And I got to thinking, you know, all of us, even though Rusty's in South Bend, he's still Harlan County.
That's right.
And I thought, man, it'd be good to get the Harlan County book guys together to do one. So that's when in April, I said, well, I'm just going to ask them the worst thing they could do is tell me no, or later. Let's do it later. So I did. Got with Michael and everything. So everything's worked out, guys. I appreciate you all. I really do. Thank you for coming on. And just two more things. I would love to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really would. And we want to give you a Wildcat Den salute. Ready, Rusty?
Yeah.
The Pope hats. I like it.
I feel like I'm supposed to take my hat off.
Messed up there.
I don't know if you're going to be able to get that headset on.
I did the.
That's awesome. Oh, that's got your name on it too, Rusty? That's awesome.
It's got Rusty's, and then we got the Wildcat Den on the back.
Nice.
So, guys, just close the show out here, I say, with us. So let's give them a salute. Okay, Rusty? Go big blue. Guys, thank you all for watching tonight. And, guys, we'll be back next Friday. Again, we're on YouTube, but we just started about a month ago or so. So we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And guys, tell everybody where they can find you all.
Go ahead, Mark. I feel bad going first.
Do what? Is it weird for you to go first? Like, you can find the show pretty much on the same platforms as your guys. Cat's Chat, it's on YouTube. It's on Instagram. Or is it? No, it's on X.
Yeah. We have Instagram. We just don't do much on Instagram. But yeah.
It's on Facebook. I know that it goes on Apple Pod and all the podcast places later on. When Michael don't forget to do that.
Fair.
But guys, Cat's Chat, go check them out. Yep. Go check.
We're live Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, of course. Cat's Chat. Go check us out on that.
Well, close to 9 p.m. usually.
Yeah, 9:05, 9:15. Yeah, 9-ish if that's time.
And like Brent said, we've been thinking about doing this for a long time, but I think you guys what give the final inspiration.
Oh, well, we appreciate that.
I'm glad, man. It's kind of neat how God will put things together sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. Guys,
we're honored to be on here.
Next week, let me leave you with this. God loves you. Go Big Blue. Good night, everybody. Rusty,
God bless.
take us out.
Wow.
Happy Father's Day.
Knock the camera off.